So today we will be discussing the index properties, the remaining portion, and we have already completed the sedimentation analysis, that was for the final portion. Now we will move on to the consistency of the clays. What is consistency? First of all, understand the ability to deform. So how it is defined, we will be moving on to this straight away. It is defined as the relative ease with which the soil can be deformed. So let us take a very clayey type of soil, or let us say a child which plays with a clay. So it can be easily remolded. When we change the water content in it, it can be easily remolded. So if we take let us say a floor, when water is added to the floor, it is what? It having some moldability, it is having some ability to deform. So in the same way, this is the consistency wherein the soil is having ability to deform. It is associated with only and only fine grained soils. As you already know that gravel, when it is there, it cannot be deformed, it cannot be like taken and gravel portion is taken, and let us say we will be molding it into some different shape or something. We cannot do with that, but we can do with this fine grained soil, as it denotes degree of firmness of these soils, which may be referred as soft, stiff and hard, because soil could be in a softer stage when the water content is slightly more. If the water content is reduced slowly, what happens? The soil becomes stiffer. And Atterberg was the very first person who defined the various stages of consistency, because when the water content was changed, what happened to the state of consistency or the stage of consistency. Though he gave following stages, that is solid stage, then he gave semi-solid stage, then plastic stage of consistency, and then he also defined the liquid stage of consistency. These stages of consistency are related with water content, that is the water percentage. What are the different water content at which the soil, and this water content at which soil passes from one stage of consistency. Let us say if the soil is in solid state, so it passes into some, if we increase some amount of water, what happens? It moves to semi-solid. If you increase more water, it moves on to the plastic stage. If you increase somewhat more water, it moves on to the liquid stage of consistency. Let us see what are the different limits in the figure. See here in the figure that here it is the volume of the soil mass, and on the x axis it is the water content, that is the W. So when the soil is having a somewhat more water, it is in liquid state of consistency. When the water is removed or reduced below this content, let us say WL is what, let us say 60%, for example, we are taking this an example, let us say it is 60%. If the water content is reduced from 60%, let us say 59, it is moved into the plastic state of consistency. Let us say plastic state is this water content corresponding to this WP limit, that is let us say 50%, this is called as plastic limit, this is called as liquid limit, this WP is called as the plastic limit, this WL is called as the liquid limit, this WS is called as the shrinkage limit, that is these are the different water contents. When let us say if we have taken into consideration this 30%, what happens when it is reduced from 30%? It happens that plastic state moves into semi-solid state, and you also know that whenever the water is removed, what happens? It will move into some solid state, and if the water is added or increased, it will move into some plastic or liquid state, it will be easily moldable. And when we move on to slightly lesser, we move on to the solid state of the soil. Also understand that here the volume is constant, that is let us say this is denoted as V small d, dry state, it is a dry state of soil. But here what happens? The soil, so volume is constantly increasing, soil volume is constantly changing. We are not talking about the voids, we are talking about the volume of soil. So at this point when it is just dry, what happens? The soil is completely saturated, but as the Vd is reduced, and when we move on to the solid state, what happens? The water content also reduces, and the saturation also is less than 1, but at this point, at this Vd, the saturation is equal to 1, and also at all these things saturation is also equal to 1 at all the points. So, these are the different limits, that is the plastic limit, liquid limit or the shrinkage limit, and the changes in the water or the volume of the soil, the changes in the volume is only up to this level, to this shrinkage limit, to this water content. When water content is reduced below the shrinkage limit, there is no change in the volume of soil. So, we talk about liquid limit. What is it? We have already discussed it now. So, it is defined as the minimum water content at which soil is in liquid stage of consistency, or it behaves like the liquid or have the tendency to flow. Obviously, when there is more water, it will having the tendency to flow. At liquid limit, what happens when it is having a tendency to flow. If it is having a tendency to flow, what happens when you try to cut it? So, what happens? The shear strength is very much low. So, at liquid limit, all the soils possess negligible shear strength. It is somewhat the value is 2.7 something kilonewton per meter square. It is determined by Casagrande's apparatus or static cone penetrometer test. When you talk about the plastic limit, so that is that water content, that is the minimum water content that wherein the soil is in plastic stage, where it can be molded easily. At the plastic limit, soil passes from semi-solid stage of consistency to the plastic stage of consistency, and vice versa, as we have already discussed. When the water content is removed, increased, or water content is decreased. So, what happens? It moves from some stage 1 to some stage 2, that is the solid, semi-solid to solid, or semi-solid to the liquid limit. So, these are the different changes. For the plastic limit determination, it is defined as the minimum water content at which the soil begins to crumble when rolled into a thread of 3 mm diameter. So, let us say if we prepare a 3 mm diameter thread of the clay, what happens? If we reduce let us say water content P, if we reduce the water content just below this, what happens? The Wp, if we reduce just below this, what happens? The soil will started to crumble. If it starts to crumble, the soil thread which we are trying to make will not be made. But at just Wp or just above also Wp, when the water content is slightly more but less than Wl, what will happen? The thread could be made by you easily. When we talk about the shrinkage limit, it is defined as the minimum water content at which soil is completely saturated, which I have already told you that below this thing soil will be having some saturation value which will be lesser than 1, but beyond it, it will be always equal to 1. It is also defined as the maximum water content below which any decrease in the water content does not result in decrease in volume of the soil, as this water is being replaced by the air in the voids of the soil below shrinkage limit. We have already discussed this in the diagram. So, next we move on to the different parameters which are there. What is their plasticity? The term plasticity, it is the property of the material, herein we are considering the soil, by virtue of which it undergoes deformation without cracking, rupturing or fracturing. So, it is tendency to deform. We have already discussed when we talked about the plastic stage of consistency there. So, what is plasticity index? It is the range of plasticity in which a soil behaves like a plastic material. So, understand here that the range of plasticity, that means let us say if this was the graph there, so if this is shrinkage limit, this is the plastic limit and this is the liquid limit, what happens? That in this range it is the value is the soil is plastic in nature in this P to L range. So, this liquid limit is WL and this is the WP. So, when we subtract it, we get this IP value. So, it is defined as the numerical difference between the liquid limit and the plastic limit. So, when IP value is 0, it is the non-plastic soil, that is the gravel or major sands also there. Then it is less than 7, it is low plastic. Then it is 7 to 17, it is medium plastic. If it is greater than 17, it is the clays, it is highly plastic soil. There is another important term which this is pretty helpful when we talk about the in situ behavior of a soil. It is defined as the ratio of difference of liquid limit of the soil and the natural water content to that is the ratio to the plasticity index of the soil. So, it is this WL minus WP upon IP, that is the plasticity index, that is WL minus WP. We already know this, WL minus WP, we have already studied about this. Obviously understand here that more the value of IC, more will be the firmness. When we talk about the liquidity index, we will be seeing in the next slide what happens there. It is totally opposite to this thing. Now understand, if water content is greater than WL, that is when at WL soil is already in a liquid state. So, the IC will be negative and the nature of the soil will be the liquid state. Obviously, when the water is more, it is more even than the liquid limit also. So, what will happen? The nature of the soil will be liquid limit. So, IC is negative and the nature of the soil is liquid. If it is beyond or that is less than WP, what happens? The IC value is positive. So, it is in some solid state. It is more firm here. And also, if it is water content, natural water content is between WP and WL, IC value is 0 to 1 and it is in plastic stage of consistency. Now, understand here the liquidity index or water plasticity ratio, how it is defined? It is defined as the ratio of difference of natural water content, that is W, and WP. So, we will be taking this 2, that is the ratio to the plasticity index of the soil. This is the liquidity index. More the liquidity index, less will be the firmness. So, it is exactly opposite to the consistency index. And also understand here that the word here is also showing what? Liquidity index. If it is saying liquidity index, that is more the value of IL, that is more it will be the liquid or inverse proportional to the inverse relation to the firmness. So, see here, more the value of IL, less will be the firmness. So, if it is, let us say if it is W is greater than WL, what will happen? This will be liquid. IL will be positive value. If W is less than WP, that is it is in water content is very less. So, the nature will be semi solid or the solid and IL will be negative and it will be in somewhat firm stage. Then nature of the soil, when you talk about, it is plastic when the water content is between WP and WL and IL will be between 0 and 1. When we talk about the shrinkage index, it is another parameter like plasticity index. It is a range of plasticity in which soil behaves like a semi solid material, not a solid, it is semi solid material, that is between the shrinkage and the plastic limit. So, this is corresponding to shrinkage, this is corresponding to plastic. So, that is WP minus WS. When we talk about certain other parameters here, that is the shrinkage ratio, what is it? It is defined as the ratio of volume change. So, we have to analyze what is the volume change, because when water is added to the soil, what is the different volume change there, and we have to take into consideration these different things, because when we change the water, what is the volume change due to that change in water content, that we will be discussing there. So, it is defined as the ratio of volume change expressed as a percentage of dry volume, that is Vd into 100 to the corresponding change in water content above the shrinkage limit. Very important thing here, the entire this shrinkage ratio is having a condition that it will only be talked about when the shrinkage limit is greater than, when it is talked about when the water content is greater than what? Shrinkage limit. So, this portion will be taken into consideration, this portion will not be taken into consideration, we will be talking about this stage only. So, V1 is the volume of soil mass at water content W1, V2 is the volume of soil mass at water content W2, and if W2 is equal to Ws, then V2 is equal to Vd. And I have already told you that above shrinkage limit it has having some significance, and below the shrinkage limit R has no significance whatsoever, because there the volume changes there. See here in this portion there is no volume change. All the volume change is occurring here in this very portion, in the above portion, no change in the below the shrinkage limit. Now remember your three important relation, that shrinkage limit is equal to E upon G. How? We already know that S is equal to 1, E is equal to W into G upon S. We know S is 1, so we can directly get Ws is equal to E by G. Also understand here that shrinkage limit is also given by 1 by Gd and 1 by minus 1 by G, and shrinkage ratio can be given as Gd, direct value. So you have to remember these three formulas, they are very important ones. So here in E is nothing but void ratio, which you have already known. G is the specific gravity of the soil. Gd is the specific gravity of the soil solids in its dry states. R is the shrinkage ratio, which we studied just before in the previous slide. Then Ws is the shrinkage limit, that is the water content. Now we will be looking on to the another index property, that is the unconfined compressive strength. We will be discussing it in detail in the slide in the shear strength of the soil. Here it is defined as load per unit area at which unconfined, that is let us say this is the soil specimen and it is confined from this end, so it is a confined one. If we remove this thing, if we place the soil sample like this only, so when it fails a simple compression test, if you apply the load here and it simply fails, so that is the unconfined compression test. Now if we talk about the toughness index, it is a very important property. It is defined as the ratio of plasticity index to the flow index of the soil. This, what is flow index here? Flow index we have obtained when we did the Casagrande test. So here it is the water content and here it is the log, and to the base of 10 and log of n is the number of blows. So the slope which we obtain is nothing but IF, that is the flow index. So it indicates the strength of the soil at its plastic limit. So IT is equal to IP by IF, and the value of IT is between 0 and 3. If we talk about sensitivity and thixotropy, understand here that the degree of firmness of fine grained soil is altered upon remolding without any change in water content. So even if you are not changing any water content, what happens when you try to just change the scenario wherein you just simply take soil and compact it, or you just simply remold it, or you simply press it, what happens? There is some change in the soil. Now this change in degree of firmness or decrease in strength, there is some decrease in the strength, we will be discussing, we will be seeing it, that takes place due to the following factors. What are the two factors? That is due to the permanent destruction of the soil solids, the very first thing, and due to the reorientation of the water molecules in the adsorbed layer of the soil solids. These are the two things which will cause a change in degree in firmness of the soil. This change in consistency of the soils is measured in terms of a parameter called as sensitivity, and which signifies the degree of disturbance. So basically we are trying to see here in the sensitivity part, what is the degree of disturbance of an undisturbed sample of clay upon remolding at same water content. So we are talking about the strength when it was in undisturbed state and the strength when it was remolded. So it is a ratio of undisturbed to remolded. Now see here that if let us say undisturbed to remolded is the ratio of the strengths of the strength, that is the sensitivity. So understand here that if it is undisturbed strength is more, so it is more sensitive soil, because if remolded strength is reduced, that will make the ratio go higher. So if the ratio is more, so what will happen? It will be highly sensitive soil for 8 to 16, for greater than 16 it will be quicksand or it will be extra sensitive soil. If the value is equal to 1, it is non-sensitive. If the value is between 2 and 4, it is normal or less sensitive. If it is 4 to 8, it is termed as sensitive soil. What happens now? Now we have studied two things, that in the very first portion you studied here that upon remolding, what happens? Some strength is lost, but over a period of time, a part of this lost strength is regained. When we talk about regaining this strength, by the virtue of rehabilitation of water molecules, because the water molecules will come back to their original state, they will try to come back to their original state. And in the adsorbed layer of soil solids, which we had discussed in the previous thing, that is permanent destruction and the coming back of the water molecules in the adsorbed layer of soil solids. But the strength lost on account of permanent destruction is not regained by the soil. The property of the soil, by virtue it regains this property, we are talking about regaining. So, when we talked about the losing part, that was sensitivity of the soil. When we talk about the regaining part, that is how does it regain its lost strength, it is called at the same water content. We have not changed any water content, we have not changed any volume. So, at the same water content and volume of soil is referred to as thixotropy. Higher the sensitivity, larger the thixotropic hardening. Now, see the graph here, that let us say if the soil is undisturbed, we do some test here. So, its strength comes out to be S1. When we remold it, its strength is somewhat reduced. It may have been due to two factors, due to reorientation of the particles, and the second one would have been what? Second would have been the permanent destruction of soil solids. So, if the strength gets reduced, so let us say this. So, on account of the water molecules coming back into the original state, what happens? It gains some strength. Let us say this new strength is say S3, but this strength which is lost here, this one, because it has not regained its previous state. So, it is somewhat lesser, it will be somewhat more, and then it will be in subsequent stages when we apply, and in subsequent with respect to time, when we move on with time, the value will be slightly reduced of the strength which can be regained by the soil. And remember this, that higher the sensitivity, larger will be the thixotropic hardening. When we talk about the activity, activity was defined by Skempton. It is the behavior, understand here that behavior or the plasticity of the soil depends on three things, that is the type of the mineral, amount of the mineral, and the amount of water present in adsorbed layer of the soil solids, which was also affecting in the previous case the thixotropic hardening. Skempton defined a parameter termed as activity. Herein he told a relationship, that is IP is directly proportional to the this value C. What is this value C? So, he just gave that IP, the plasticity index, is directly proportional to the percentage of particles present in it having size less than 2 micron size, that is very much small particles. So, he gave AT as IP by C. It also shows that, let us say IP is directly proportional to C. So, IP is equal to AT, that is the activity, into C. So, C, this activity will come out to be IP by C. When we talk about this is, if we plot a curve, what happens? This is somewhat a slope, and corresponding to some value it will be there. This is slope of AT is equal to 1.25. So, remember here, if it is less than 0.75, it is inactive soil. If it is 0.75 to 1.25, it is the normal soil. If the activity value is greater than 1.25, it is active soil. Then, if like in the previous slide I discussed what can be the effect of the clay mineral. So, understand here that if we take, if the kaolinite is present in the soil, the activity value will be 0.4 to 0.5. If illite is there, the activity is slightly less, very much less, 0.5 to 1 value. If it is montmorillonite, it is 1 to 7. But understand here, if it is sodium montmorillonite, that is Na plus cation is there present on the montmorillonite, it is 4 to 7 value activity. If we talk about calcium montmorillonite, it will be having 1.5, that is very much less. But when we talk about this sodium montmorillonite, it is having a maximum value of what? Activity. So, understand this thing. When we talk about the collapsibility, it is a property of the soil by virtue of which it shows large decrease in volume of the soil. with increase in water content. So, here we are discussing what with increase in water content, there is a change in the water content at same pressure. So, it is defined as the change, that is the ratio, change in decrease in the volume with respect to expressed in terms of original volume of the soil. Original volume was what? V naught. So, if we consider it, the changes are to be occurring in height or in depth of the soil, it could be said delta H by H naught. It could also be written as delta E by 1 plus E naught. So, one thing important here understand, it is measured in terms of a parameter known as collapse potential, which you can determine by performing the simple plate load test in the field. So, when the collapsibility is high, it will be having more severe impact, it will be if it is greater than 25. So, if it is between 15 to 25, it will be having severe impact. If it is between 5 and 15, it will be having a normal impact. Then for the collapsibility value of 1 to 5, it is moderate impact, and if the collapsibility value is 0, that is no change in the volume occurs because of change in the water content, the value will be 0, that will be no impact on the structure will be there. Now, going on for this numerical, see here that if the liquid limit is 50% and plastic limit is 30%, shrinkage limit is 15%. Understand here that in these numericals you have to simply plot the diagram, and after you plot the diagram, it is very easier for you to go on for the further. So, if the liquid shrinkage limit is 15, plastic limit is 30, liquid limit is 50%, and if the specimen of this sample shrinks from a volume of 10 centimeter at liquid limit. So, we know the volume, that is VL is equal to 10 centimeter cube, then Vp we do not know, to a volume of 5.94 centimeter cube when oven dry means we are moving on to Vd, that is 5.94 centimeter cube, that is this much. So, here Vp is unknown, and we have to determine the shrinkage ratio and the specific gravity of soil solids. So, see here R is equal to V minus V2, V1 minus V2, that is at one water content to another water content. We know here two water contents, like we know here 3, but we will be seeing here Ws and Wl, that is 15 and 50. So, it is volume is 10 and V2 is this 5.94 into and divide by 5.94 into 100, and the change in water will be 50 minus 15. So, the shrinkage ratio comes out to be 1.953. Now, taking into consideration the second thing, G is equal to rho S by rho W and density is equal to MD by VD. We know that V2 that is equal to VD, that is 5.94 centimeter cube, and mass of solid is M minus MW. Then we talk about the very first thing MW1 and MW2. So, it is water content into the soil solids, similarly the second one, and we are taking into consideration the liquid limit and the shrinkage limit. So, the loss in mass of water will be M1 minus M2. So, it comes out to be 0.35 MD. Now, when we equate it, so the loss in volume of water was V1 minus V2, that was 10 minus 5.94, that was 4.06 centimeter cube. When we equate it to the previous equation, we get the value of this MD to be 11.6 grams, and with respect to that we apply the simple formula, we get rho S 1.953 gram per centimeter cube, and this is rho S by rho W. So, this one will be 1.953. Thank you, we will be discussing it in the next lecture now.